what you want to do from here is copy the link in the very top of this window and put it into your CLR browser. Just control what you want to do from here control and copy the link in the very top of this. That'll pop it in perfectly fine. And put it into your CLR browser. We want to do is we want to actually change some CSS. Now I'm going to link the CSS that I have for my actual YouTube chat in the description. We want to actually change to plugins. The actual other file we have, the dynamic link library, just wants to go into next YouTube chat. Is go to your YouTube channel and click on the live streaming option. This should give you a dash. The actual other file we should also have the chat section. Just wants to go inside. If you click the three dots, you should actually get an option to pop out the chat. This should give you a dash. You should also have the chat section. Just what you want to do from here is you click the three dots. You should actually get an option to pop out the chat. This should give you a dash. You should also have the chat section. Just what you want to do from here is you click the three dots. You should actually get an option to pop out the chat. This should give you a dash. You should also have the chat section. Just what you want to do from here is you click the three dots. You should actually get an option to pop out the chat. This should give you a dash. You should also have the chat section. Just what you want to do from here. Copy the link in the very top of this window and put it into your CLR browser. Just Control and C, Control and V once you have it all selected. That'll pop it in perfectly fine. The next thing we want to do is we want to actually change some CSS. Now I'm going to link the CSS that I have for my actual YouTube chat in the description below. I might put it on Pastebin or something along those lines, but either way you're going to get it. So the CSS is as follows, and basically all this does is it basically gives the actual browser plugin some information on how, just as a bit of a default. You might want to make a few changes depending on your preferences if you even know CSS. If you don't know CSS, I would probably just leave this alone once you've copied and pasted it in. However, go back into the General tab and you want to effectively change the dimensions of your CLR browser plugin here. These are going to be your width and your height of the actual CLR browser box, and it's also going to be the width and the height of the chat box, because the entirety of this box is going to display messages and nothing but messages. So you don't want it like 1920 by 1080 because that's going to take up the entirety of your screen. You want to cut it down to something that's right for you. And when you actually go and add it to, when you go and edit your scene in Open Broadcaster software, you'll actually be able to see the red outline of where it is. So you can keep dotting back into the CLR browser config here, and you get to that by just right clicking it and clicking properties. And you can Hey guys, right click, copy, right click, wants to go into this file option. You want to do from here, that CSS that I have for my actual YouTube, to actually change some CSS. Now I'm going to link the CSS that I have for my actual YouTube chat in the description below. I might put it on Pastebin or something along those lines, but either way you're going to get it. So the CSS is as follows, and basically all this does is it basically gives the actual browser plugin some information on how you want that text and everything stylized. I have this CSS in here just as a bit of a default. You might want to make a few changes depending on your preferences if you even know CSS. If you don't know CSS, I would probably just leave this alone once you've copied and pasted it in. However, go back into the General tab and you want to effectively change the dimensions of your and nothing but messages. So you don't want to be seen in Open Broadcaster software. You'll actually be able to see right-clicking it and clicking Properties, and you can just nudge the width down or effectively. We have to get the CLR browser plugin and put the YouTube chat URL into it, is because it is effectively a red outline of that CLR browser plugin. Now, if you shrink this down to the right size, you can effectively move it anywhere you want. So if you wanted it in the bottom left, then just go ahead and put it in the bottom left. So here I'm previewing my stream, and if I click on my YouTube chat, hey guys, I thought we'd be back with a quick tutorial, and it's also going to be the So here I'm previewing my stream, and to show you what I mean, I'm sure you'll get the gist of it. So here I'm previewing my stream, and if I click on my YouTube chat source, which is actually a CLR browser plugin in the background, and click on Edit Scene, you can see that I have a red outline of that CLR browser plugin. Now, if you shrink this down to the right size, you can effectively move.
Hey there guys, and welcome to the Transparent YouTube Gaming Chat tutorial. I am really grateful for your patience. I know that it's been a long time in coming and it's taken me a while to get it out, but we're finally going to have this awesome chat that everybody wants. Let's go ahead and dive in. In this tutorial, I will be showing you how to take your chat from a regular YouTube gaming chat, which you can see is dark themed here, and you can either make it into totally transparent or semi-opaque. And what this allows you to do is look at a couple different styles for overlaying your chat and making it look really nice. And let's go ahead and look at what this would look like overlaid over a game. I have a screenshot from Fallout 4 up here, and as you can see, the old chat is pretty janky, while the newer chat is rather nice and looks rather good against the game. So we're going to go ahead and look at a usage case scenario now where you would go ahead and do this. So if you would follow me over to creating an event. We're going to assume that you have already created an event and that this is the event that you are starting. I have this event up on regular YouTube and on YouTube Gaming, and the workflow is essentially the same for both. In both cases, we're going to go over to the chat, and we're going to click the vertical ellipsis and click Pop Out Chat to pop the chat out into a new window. As you can see, the process is the same for either regular YouTube or YouTube Gaming. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and highlight the URL of the pop-out window and close the pop-out window because we don't need it anymore. We're going to go ahead and go over to Fallout, and we're going to go ahead and, using CLR browser, which is an extension for OBS, we're going to go ahead and create a new browser source. And we're going to call this browser source Transparent Chat. Okay, let's go ahead and paste in the chat. And as you can see, this is the chat as it is right now. Let's go ahead and get rid of that is pop out. We don't need that at all. And that's the chat as it is. Let me go ahead and say something in the chat. I'm gonna say woo, hi, 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 hi. And it might take it a minute for it to register. When the chat first comes up, the first couple messages do tend to get cut off, which while unfortunate, isn't a huge big deal. So we're gonna go ahead and start spamming the chat. There we go. And as you can see, now those comments are coming up. So, as you can see, this is the basic chat, but it's really rather unstyled right now, and it looks pretty awful. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and go below in the description. I have various pastebin files set up, and those will allow you to just go ahead and copy paste. And if you just want to get the setup and go, and you don't care about how it works or changing it, then all we're going to do is we're going to go into the properties of this chat, and in this field below where it says CSS down here, we are going to go ahead and copy paste in some CSS that we have ready to go for chat. Let me go ahead and get that up for you guys. And we're going to go ahead and copy this. And the ready-made CSS that I'm choosing to use here is the opaque version, the semi-opaque version. However, you are free to use a transparent version if that's what you would prefer. And hit OK. As you can see, this is overlaying and looking absolutely beautiful and much nicer than the previous chat. Now, something I would like to talk to you guys about is the fact that there is a slight delay between the chat that is coming in live and the chat that is loaded in your streaming platform, be that OBS or XSplit. We're going to go ahead and show you. I'm going to, for the purposes of letting you see the delay, I'm going to capture a piece of window, and I'm going to show you the real-time input and about how long it takes for it to show up on screen. So, give me one moment, and as you can see, this is our actual chat here, and we're going to go ahead and spam a message. We're going to call that message spam 3. And we are going to go ahead and send it. It's showing up in the first chat, and as you can see, it takes about 10 to 15 seconds for the message to actually load up and show on the overlaid chat. So you may have people asking you, there it goes, you know, for the explanation of your users. We're going to go ahead and style the
video that I did a few months back. Pretty much, I thought if you've got some internet. So, you're brought to a screen and it's asking you to select your operating system. So, source is a key component. You'll need to, a scene has many sources. So, all we need to do here is literally click on Add, browse a source, name it something sensible like chat box. So, what you need to do is specify your width and your height and the FPS at what that element will be running at. So if you're running at 60 frames per second on your stream, you might want to bump it up to 60. If it's a 30 FPS stream, you can run it as a 30 FPS stream. So here, what you want to do is basically navigate to your YouTube account. So let me just bring up my YouTube channel here. I am going to blur certain things you have live streaming. And in the chat, the top link field here, like so. Specify the width. I'm not going to show you the CSS quite. So, because we don't want it to look like that, and we actually want it to have other properties, such as not showing the background and just showing the text and who's written it, we will have to drop in some CSS. That stands for cascading style sheets, and it's what websites use to basically stylize all the elements within a page, and it does that by targeting IDs and classes of certain pieces of text. So because we're effectively pointing our chat box to the YouTube chat box web page, that little web page does have HTML, probably JavaScript, and some other server-side languages that we don't have. So we can override everything that we're grabbing from this page with our own custom CSS. So if I just go to my chat box properties here, I have a long list of CSS. Now we have the CSS within our clipboard. We want to pop it in here. Basically get rid of everything else, press Ctrl and V or right click and paste and click OK, and you'll notice that the web page has actually gone from being a white, horrible, not very well looking element to now transparent background and just the text on that particular chat box. So that is it from me, guys. That is as simple as it is to get your YouTube chat into OBS Studio. There is no messing around. The browser plugin.
Requested video on how I have my OBS set up for streaming with overlays. Also, this video will reference my other video on how to use overlays on your PS4 or Xbox without a capture card. So if you get confused about what I'm talking about, take a look at that video for clarification. So the first version of this video that I made, I actually already had everything set up, and basically I just went through and said, okay, you do this with this, you do this with that. And I decided, you know what? I can't stand it when other people on YouTube do that, so I actually uninstalled just about everything, and we're going to set everything up from scratch directly through this tutorial. So with that said, we're going to actually be kicking this off by downloading all the components we need and setting up all of our accounts to get the live streaming and overlays up and running. Some of the things that you